Hello my fellow crafters, welcome back to Inspiration for Cards. My name is David and today I'm going to be making a card. I'm going to make a Lavinia card, that is, because I am very proud and pleased that I am part of the design team for Lavinia for the month of September. I'm a guest design team member for Lavinia in September. Now the theme for September for Lavinia, the Lavinia challenge, is Enchanted Forest. And I was thinking like, okay, I've already posted one video and now I was thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I was debating with myself, and then I thought, you know what? I'm going to try to recreate one of the best viewed videos on my channel, which is a Lavinia, making a background with the Northern Lights. Now the Northern Lights to me are magical, mystical, so I think they fit the theme perfectly. So without any further ado, let's switch cameras, dive in and make this card. So what I've got here is lots of stamps. I'm not 100% sure which ones I'm going to use, but we will figure that out together. But I do know what colors I'm going to use. I'm going to use vintage, no, not vintage photo, Villainous Potion, Prize Ribbon, Twisted Citron and Black Sooth. I'm going to use the Distressed Glaze for that. I'm going to use all sorts of VersaFine Clair inks, so that will be it for later. But first I'm going to make that background in a second. Now I'm definitely going to use this beautiful stamp called Stag. That's going to be the centerpiece of my card, and then we'll just see what I will use. I'm thinking about these trees or these trees, depending on how I see it. I've got the leaf creeper here, not the mini ones, but the normal ones. I've got the mini leaf creeper here. So yeah, I've got several stamps out that I will probably use. I've got the Acetate Hill masks and I've got this beautiful stencil that I'm going to be using. It'll all make sense when I get started. But before we get started, I need to make my background. Now what I've got here is a sticky piece of thick plastic. It's how do you call it, from my Cricut, one of the cutting mats. Cut that up. Now this is the Lavinia Multifarious Smooth and Supreme cardstock. Fantastic cardstock, I love it. And I'm going to use that to create my background. But since I'm going to use a lot of water and inks on this, I want to make sure it doesn't warp that much. So I will press that on pretty well. I've got my matte layer and the card base ready to go as well. Put those to the side before I make a mess out of them. That happened before. Okay, so now let's have a start. What I will do is I will take my Twisted Citron and just put that on there. Just making sure there's a good layer of ink on there. Then I'm going to Villainous Potion, load up my brush, and I will just put that on the same paper. Quite messy, but that's absolutely gonna be fine, trust me. I love Villainous Potion. It's a nice dark moody purple, so I'm going to make sure there's a good layer on there. Okay, next I'm coming in with Prize Ribbon. I'm going to fill up everything that's still white with Prize Ribbon. Okay, this looks like a hot mess, right? I know, but it will be fine when I'm finished, I'm sure. Right, next I'm coming in with Black Soot. I'm just gonna darken up some areas just to make it a bit more night, moody. Wow. Northern Lights are in the night, so. And at the bottom I'm gonna bring in that black bit more, because that's where I will also do some of my hill mask, so that's not that important. There we go, good enough. Now I'm gonna grab a piece of paper towel, have that ready, And I'm just gonna spray this with water, just plain simple old water, and give that a good layer of water, really hose it down in a way, and let that do its thing. Now this is the scary bit, not doing anything with it, just standing here and waiting. Now this takes a while, I must say. It's not the fastest technique, because we really need to make sure that we give it time to do its thing. Now, I don't want to bore you with this very long video, literally watching paint dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this to the side. Put that there and ignore it. And what I've done, I have prepared, of course, I have prepared one. Now this, I've actually prepared two. This is one that's already finished and ready to stamp on, but what I did to this is actually something more, and that is with the distressed glaze on it, because I love the oxides, I love the chalky finish, but in this case I want this brightness of that Northern Lights. So I'm taking some distressed glaze onto a foam pad, and I'm just gonna go right over this, and what you will see, I will hold it up close to the camera in a second. By doing that, it takes away this chalky finish, and you can really see the layers. So this is how I made this one as well. I've already finished this one, and you can really see that the cloudiness of these colors blending. I love that, and you see the layers of color because of using the distressed glaze. So putting a good layer on there, and then I have to decide which one to use. Now I'm just taking a piece of dry piece of paper towel, and I'm gonna rub that over my card front, because I want to take off any excess of that distressed glaze. Now I find I get best results if I let this dry as well for a while. So I think I'm going to be working with that one, but I'm definitely not throwing this one away because I think it's lovely. This one as well. You see that how much brighter it is now that I've just put on that glaze. I wish you could answer me which one to use. I'm just gonna see. I'm gonna do the next steps on both of them, I think, because I can't decide. I do like the brightness on this one. Yeah, come on, David, make up your mind. Okay, done. I'm gonna use this one. And what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take my Lavinia inks. I'm gonna use lime punch. I'm gonna use violet chalk. And I'm going to use Della blue, and graphite. So I'm going to take out my blending brushes, and I'm just going to start inking this up. Now what this will do, this will make it even more bright. I'm just tapping off the majority of that ink into my lid, and then you will see what I mean by brightening up this color. Look at that. These inks are stunning. And this, to me, really adds to that Northern Lights effect, you see? Because you get a blend with the blue. Love it. Now, in my original video, I used salvage patina for this because I didn't have twisted citron, but now I do. So I just thought that's a nice bright yellow, and it really works out well with this. So what this does, it really brightens up that yellow, the lime green. Fantastic, love it. Okay, next I'm going to take, I need a purple brush. I'm going to take a smaller blending brush, size 7, and I'm going to tap that into my lid again, and I'm going to come in with that color as well, and you see how that brightens up everything. And this goes over the distress glaze perfectly if you let it dry for a while. That's why I'm using this background, not the other one. And I'm just blending that into that green, lime green ever so slightly. Next I'm coming in with Della blue, and you guessed it, I'm just gonna go over this brighter blue with that. And you still see the layers of oxide underneath, because this is really going on top of that glaze. I don't know, I've tried it without the glaze and it was a different effect. So I just love layering up these inks. Next I'm going to take graphite, and I'm just going to give it a bit more darkness. So I'm going to come in here in the corner where I put that black soot, and I'm actually just going to go around. Now I'm using this also to create some darker spots. Because that creates depth as well. Now I don't want to have it too light because I want the stag to stand out really well. What I am going to do is just going to give that bottom bit more darkness. But this one I'm just going to heat set now, because I really want these inks to be dry on there. And since I have put them over the glaze, the surface is not that absorbent anymore. So I just want to make sure that this is really dry before I stamp on it. Now next I'm going to take out my Misty, because I want him to stamp. This is a very solid stamp and I can do it, but I don't want to risk it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this onto my mat, my sticky mat that's in my Misty. Just going to put the magnet on just to be sure, not because I have to. And I'm going to take Stag and I'm going to position him where I want him. Now I want him to be standing here. Next I'm going to take my Clarion Nocturne and I'm going to stamp him out. Now because I'm using my stamping platform, that means that I can stamp him several times to make sure I get a nice solid image. Now these stamps are fantastic, and I've used this one before with the stamping block and it worked just fine. But in this case, because I'm stamping on the glaze, I'm not sure how it's going to react. So I did it before, but I can't remember. I think I used the platform then as well. I should have watched my own video back, right? Look at that, in one go. I think first I'm coming in with my heel mask, deciding which one. Okay, I've decided on this one because I'm going to put some trees on there as well, and that really will make the difference. So yeah, I'm going to lose this part, but I don't care. I don't mind that much because I'm going to do something fun with that as well. So I'm going to turn him around, position my mask, my heel mask, where I want it, and it could be at a slight angle. There we go. And I'm going to take Twilight, because I don't want a stark black. I'm going to take Starlight, and I'm just going to start on my acetate and I'm going to bring that down. See if that will cover up enough of that yellow that's underneath. If not, I will use, I think I'm going to use Nocturne. What does that look? I think that looks absolutely fine. It looks like a greenish hill. Works out. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to darken up this edge a bit already, so it gives me a bit of a guideline of where to put my trees. And now the theme of this month is Enchanted Forest, so I need to create my forest now, and I just can't decide what to use. I'm still debating on these. But I'm going to use these, I think. Let me get them out. Yeah, that will work out. So I'm going to ink this one up. This one is, what's it called? Tree of Courage. And the other one I'm going to put on the other side is Tree of Hope. Now inking the tree up. And I'm just gonna come in like that. Giving that ink time to adhere to the card, so don't be too quick. Yes, I like that. I like that it's coming off the card, and that's cool. Okay, that's one. Next I'm coming in with the Tree of Hope. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Beautiful. I love that. It's really, this is going to be the focal point, really, this part that he's staring at. Trees are coming together nicely. Now I'm coming back in with Twilight. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off some of the ink. And I just want to soften off this line because that tree is now floating a bit. I will do the same here. Just darkening it up a bit. There we go. Now next I'm going to stamp with, let me see, the leaf creepers. I just want to put some leaves here. So I'm going to take the small one. But before I do that, actually I want to, no, I'm going to use this and I'm going to stamp along here to create sort of a pathway. Now I'm going to stamp using Nocturne, and I'm going to use some first and second generation stampers for this. So first I'm going to start right here. And I'm going to put a second generation stamp right there. You see, that is far away in the distance. And I'll repeat that on this side. There we go. That's that. So I've got my Distress Embossing Dauber here, and I've got Black Sparkle embossing powder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my dauber, and I'm really going to press down my stencil, and I'm going to create a path. Like that. So I can see the embossing powder or the embossing glaze is on there. So I'm going to take my Black Sparkle and I'm going to put that on here. and also a bit on those creepers that we just stamped. So next I'm going to take my heat tool and I'm going to melt this. Okay, look at that. Look at that shine, and I really love, I'm not sure I can pick it up, but in this embossing powder it's like holographic, and all the colors from this come back in that, and that's really giving it the theme Enchanted Forest for me. So next I'm taking a white gel pen and I'm just gonna give some highlights on his, how is that called in English? I don't know. His horns? Could be. But I'm really not sure. Tell me in the comments if you know what that is in English. The thing on his hat. Next I'm taking my color pencils and I'm just gonna see what color. I'm just gonna color in these parts of the tree. Also, that's gonna be making it more magical. At least I think so. I just love this effect. See the difference? This tree is really popping up now. This one is more in the background, so I want this effect more. So I will do the same on this side. But now with my gel pen, I'm just gonna give that tree a small highlight, like so. And I think I'm gonna leave it at that. Now, what I just want to do is I just want to intensify that edge that I did to really draw in the attention to that center. So I'm just going to come in with Twilight again, a bit heavier this time. I did that with Graphite the other, did I? I can't remember. Anyway, I'm coming in with Twilight now, just to create a bit more dimension on the card, even more than we have now. Okay, so now I'm going to assemble my card. I'm going to take my black card base, I'm going to take my glue, and I'm just going to glue these two together. And I'm using glue because I need some wiggle time. I need to pick this up to position it well, slide it into place. Pressing it down and put on another layer of glue at the back, making sure my card is opening at the right angle, and put this on to my card panel. Now what I want to do on the inside, I want to create sort of a pathway as well, and I'm going to use hickory smoke for that, because I don't want it to be very in your face. So I'm just gonna color through my stencil, starting here and creating a path. Then I'm going to take my tree again, and using fallen leaves, I'm going to ink that up. And I've made a bit of a mess here, so let me clean that up before I smush that all over my card. That has happened before. So And I'm going to stamp this right here, like that. Look at that. I just love that. I love decorating the inside of a card, and creates a beautiful effect. Now I'm going to heat set this, and here we have it, the finished result. Look at the shine and sparkle. I think this is an enchanted forest, and Stag is really enjoying his northern light view. I love how this card turned out. I really do. So yeah, I really love how this card turned out. It's if you look at it in the light, it's a different view again. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, this was the second card I made for Lavinia as a guest designer, and I really hope you liked it, enjoyed it. I enjoyed it thoroughly. If you haven't done so yet, look up our channel, you might like it, and I would love to see you for the next one. There's one more coming up in 2 weeks, I think, and then this is already over. It's going too quick as it is already. Thank you very much for watching, and I would love to see you for the next one. Thank you. Bye.